It's going down. Basement, Friday the 4th. Guess is crushing Doja. Yes, Doja Cat is finally responding to Ibro and his co host. And at the same time, she also found the need to bring Doechii in the mix. And some people feel like she was being shady towards Nicki Minaj. Now, we're also going to be talking about Charlemagne the God basically changing the goalpost. And he's now acknowledging that actually bots do exist. And according to him, this is the standard business practice. It's acceptable in the music industry that people may use bots. Now we're going to be discussing about that, and we're also going to be talking about Ibro and Nebraska and what they had to say about Drake's video. And at the same time, Bongo 2 is going to be performing at Coachella, and Ming Li got herself a new apartment. Congratulations, girl. And we're going to be talking about Muni Long's speech. Now these are some of the things that we will be discussing in this video. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome to the tea blog. I trust you guys are doing well, and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing. And without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. So, first of all, let us talk about Matlamini. I'm talking about Doja Cat. Now, yesterday I did a video and I spoke about what Ibro and his co-host had to say about Doja Cat. Basically, they were alluding to the fact that, well, she is not really for the hip hop, culture. She may be good in as far as the music is concerned, but when it comes to fitting into hip hop in its entirety, they were saying that Doja Cat, does not relate to that. So it seems like Doja saw all of that trending, and yesterday it was basically, chaos on the internet because now people were feeling like they are trying to make way for Doechii, especially the kitty kittens. Forgive me, you guys, because I really continue to forget what Doja Cat fans are called, but let's just call them, the kitties. So the kitties now felt that everything that these people at the Apple Music podcast, everything that they were doing, it was being done to make way for Doechii, given that Doechii clearly has beaten off of Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj. So anyway, it was crazy, only for Malamini to come back this morning and to address this entire situation. And the first thing that she said, I'm honestly very inauthentic because everything I do is based off of what I've learned off of TV. So the war authenticity argument can be settled at that. I love making noises with my mouth, and if it has to become political, then I'm out. I spit hot fire. Okay, so I guess Doja Cat is just like, listen, if that's the route that you've decided to take with music as a whole, especially this genre, if you're gonna make it political and politicize everything, I stand no chance because I have not lived the life that you guys are saying that if someone hasn't lived that life, then they are not black enough. So she's like, it's okay, you can keep it at that. Personally, I just love music making, and I do see where she's coming from with that. However, it got interesting because another person came and said to her, you're not inauthentic for taking inspiration from things you're surrounded by. Please never say that again. And Doechii said, but maybe it's not so bad being inauthentic. Maybe it's one of the best things I could be if it's helped me make all this music that makes me feel at peace. So Doja does not want any parts of the conversation of authenticity and her belonging to the hip hop culture as a whole, not just the rapping part. So she's like, listen, you guys can take it. And I think she's arguing from a point where she knows that toe to toe, if Doechii is obviously put against her to say who's more authentic, who's part of the culture more, obviously people are going to pick Doechii, and I think that Doja Cat is smart enough to know that, well, they are no longer competing in as far as the music space is concerned, but it is more about culture. And in my own opinion, whoever sent that narrative out for these podcasters to discuss, they know exactly what they're doing. They know that musically speaking, Doja Cat and Doechii can go toe to toe, and most probably Doja Cat will win because I mean Doja came out first in as far as blowing up and all of these things. So they know that if they argue musically, Doechii is going to lose this entire comparison. But if they do bring in the culture element to it, of course, people are going to be more inclined, towards, Doechii. And Doja has realized that this is now more than music; it's now political. And in that field, she has no grounds. And yeah, whoever did that honestly knew what they were doing. Another person said to her, "You are authentic, trust me." And then she said, "Cool, that too, then. How about I'm both?" Okay. And then another person said, "Doja, are you a rapper or a singer?" And she said, "I reap and I rhyme and I spit hot fire." I guess she wanted to say I rap and I rhyme and I spit a hot fire. So this is getting interesting actually. Somebody said, "I used to be a fan, but you're taking too long to drop the album. Literally no demand anymore. Bye, go, you're over." And then Doja Cat said, "I'm effed, babe." And things get interesting now because after that tweet, there is another tweet that followed. And this is what Doja Cat said. She said, "Doechii is my inspiration. Doechii is here to stay." Now, one would wonder, how does Doechii get into the conversation of Doja being criticized for not being hip hop culture enough? It means that Doja really does know that the reality of the situation is that people are trying to make way for Doechii, and the only strategic way for them to do that is to use the culture cut, which makes everything interesting. Now, I did see a lot of mixed reaction underneath this particular tweet, with some fans feeling like she was genuinely sending flowers towards Dochi's way. But I don't know, you guys. I really don't know if this indeed is her showing love or if this is her being sarcastic. That's what I don't understand about this entire situation. And I also did see some of you guys underneath that tweet getting mad because you guys were saying that, well, you're being shady. How is it that you can publicly say that Doechii is my inspiration and you cannot say the same thing for Nicki Minaj, who we all know, inspired you? But is she not the girl who shouts, "I love you, Nicki Minaj," or something like that at the end of her song? She's the same girl. And I mean, whether they say it or they don't say it, I mean, the Nicki Minaj influence is very apparent on both of them. You can love Doechii, but to outright deny that there is some Nicki Minaj inspiration there, honestly, is just insane. The same way you can love Doja Cat, but to outright, deny that there's some Nicki Minaj influence there is just crazy. So, in my own opinion, this is such an open tweet that can be interpreted in several different ways. And I do know that she probably did that intentionally. I am getting the sarcastic vibe with the whole "she's my inspiration" thing, because to begin with, why are you bringing her in this entire conversation? Okay. And that being said, also, knowing Doja Cat, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow she wakes up and she starts saying she was hacked. Okay. I really wouldn't be surprised. But let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Of course, some fans do feel like there probably is a Doechii collaboration on the upcoming Doja Cat album. Now, would I be shocked? Absolutely not. And it could have been recorded way back as well. It could have been recorded recently because these people, it's not like they don't see eye to eye. I mean, Doja Cat invited Doechii to open for her on her tour. So, yeah, let's see how everything is going to work out in this entire situation. The next thing that we're going to be talking about, we're going to talk about Charlemagne and the Drake and UMG situation. At this point, this man might as well just be a clown. Somebody get him some crayons so that he can paint his face. Because when this trial started, this person was out there saying, "Oh, Drake is not going to win anything because there's no such thing as bots. Not like us didn't have any bots. Bots do not exist. Payola doesn't exist," and all of these things. And slowly he's been moving around, now changing the goalposts. This same man is now sitting, on there saying that, listen, both are music industry standard practice. And I'm just like, if this is the case, so why then do you guys dismiss it when people bring up bots? Like initially, when people would bring up the conversation of bots, you guys would say that nothing like that exists. And now you're now changing the goalpost. You're now trying to normalize both. At this point, music is just I don't know, a manufactured, capitalistic product, because I don't think they still even need for talent, because what's next? If you are sitting on there and admitting that bots exist and there's nothing wrong with bots, then we might as well generate songs by AI and promote them using bots at this point, because where are we headed? First of all, you guys said that, well, writing is not important in as far as hip hop is concerned, or rapping is concerned, or being an MC is concerned. Now you're saying that having the people's authentic support is not important anymore because bots are normal and bots are acceptable. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And that's when you see the fake woke people trying to come on here, when the reality of it is that we have all just been made to be sheep. And any and everything that they want us to listen to, they push it down our throats using these boards and using this payola. And somehow this man is sitting on that, on radio, justifying this. But anyway, let me insert what he had to say, and then I'll catch you guys after that.
People like Kendrick have benefited from that. All of their art that they don't already know though. That the machine puts that they don't already know though. That the machine puts a little extra oomph behind records that are already moving, just like I'm sure they're doing with Nokia right now.
Yeah. Well,
it's the truth though. Like, what are they gonna find out?
I think what they trying to go in and find out is like any wrongdoing of the machine making oomph and all that stuff.
That wrong. If it's wrongdoing, then it's typical record industry practices that have been going on since the beginning of time. That people like Drake have benefited from. That people like Kendrick have benefited from. That all of their artists benefit from.
But what if it's not? What if it's none? That's going to make you look crazy.
Yeah, we talked about.
Ain't even no foul play, nothing going on.
It's like a baseball player looking for steroids, and you're like, oh, it's the same stuff I've been using. whether you know you was using it or not.
Yeah. No, but to Jess's point, we talked about this on the podcast yesterday, the latest with Lauren LaRosa. Mm-hmm. I said that if there's nothing found, he just looks like a crybaby. It just looks like, you know what I mean? But if there is things found, and it can be something small, like it could be one employee that happened to maybe send a Uber or send a gift or something that can look.
Uber.
I mean, because you have certain rules.
Think Kendrick Lamar getting an Uber?
No, I just mean like there's certain rules. A big one, not the little. There's certain rules around like bribery, and I'm sure I don't know all the rules when it comes to radio, but I know like.
But that's not going to be in the contract, and the sad thing about it is
it's not going to be in the contract.
But
if you look
not
at
just
this
contracts
table,
though.
You stupid.
It's not just contracts.
But if you look at a judge, does the judge know exactly about the music industry to see what he's giving permission for? Like giving up Kendrick's contract, and I don't know what's in Kendrick's contract, but giving up how much money he's making and the money that's spent, that's nobody's business but Kendrick and his label. Like, why would that want to go to somebody else?
But
you know
that's
what I mean?
only one part of it, and I think once we see which contracts they pull and which information they focus on, we can kind of better understand, why they did that. Another part of it was, remember they talked about the bots or whatever that they said they alleged that Kendrick was Drake.
The same bots that have been used for all artists. All Drake is going to expose is secrets that have helped him too. And I don't even know if there's same bots that have been used for all.
Now,
Drake. The same bots that have been used for all artists. All Drake is going to expose is secrets that have helped him too. And I don't even know if they're secrets, to be honest with you. Are they secrets? Or is that just standard record business practices at this point?
I thought it was standard record business practices.
All of this stuff, the bots, everything that we talking about.
The bots don't matter no more because Drake's team yesterday in the court said that they've exchanged some, letters back and forth, and they're now.
Well, there you heard that, you guys. So initially he's heard saying that, well, there are no bots and all of these, and then he goes on to say that, well, bots are just the standard music practice, and then he goes on to say that, well, even if they do find bots, then what's the matter? Because even Drake himself at this point probably has used it. So I don't understand the reasoning. It seems like whatever the outcome of this case is going to be, these people will always find excuses to justify that the men that they used to look at, or the men that they look at as this morally upright person, is also using these inauthentic methods to push his music. That's where the point is. Okay, if we're all going to use bots, then don't stand on there and point your finger at me and say that you, Drake, are wrong to the culture because you're using bots. I don't use bots. You, Drake, are a cancer to the culture because, well, you are doing this, but I don't do that. And then we turn around and we realize that everything that you're accusing the other person of doing, you are also doing. So I think that this is the point of this entire thing. If it was just two people that way just going at it, and none of the two is saying I'm better than the other one because morally I'm upright, it would have been a different case. But anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think about that. You also, Judas Degrassi, how can you sue a system that you benefited from? Okay, I don't care about both of these people. Let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Oh my God, I forgot this talking point. The other thing that Babs were not happy about with the Doja Cat situation is they were saying that, do you see how quick she is to address the Doechii comparisons when it's just the fans? But when she has been continuously compared to Nicki Minaj, she never came out here and said in a tweet that Nicki was her inspiration during the comparison. That's what people were saying, that this looks very fishy and weird. When it's Doechii, you're quick to say something, but when it's Nicki Minaj, you were very quiet, you were very mum, you enjoyed the comparison. We know that you genuinely got inspiration from her, but we didn't see you defending her like this. But anyway, personally, I do feel like that tweet, in my own opinion, is very vague. You cannot really make out, is it being her being genuine, or is she like, okay, fine, you think she's the better person, it's fine. I'm inspired by her, in fact, that type of a thing. But anyway, moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about, still talking about Drake. It seems like Ibro and his co-hosts are finding ways to cope with their dislike for Drake, because now, despite Drake being a sickness, they are still sitting down talking about her and dissecting her Nokia video. Now, what I'm about to insert, this is exactly how haters behave when they finally realize that, well, they cannot just erase you like this, because one is out there saying, I want to see Drake acting. The other one is saying, oh my God, Drake could have done this. Oh my God. Oh my, this is embarrassing on so many levels. Now they've got nothing to say. And now they're talking about the man should be acting. And now Ibra is like, oh, no matter what I say about Drake, you guys will take it as shade if I say that he needs to go acting. I've never seen a hater that is that senile. Okay, Ibra is not senile, but he's old. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of this video, I will insert what Ibra and his co-host had to say, because really, I just want to make sure that some of you who do not care for what he had to say won't have to watch, what this hater had to say. The next thing that we're going to be talking about, Bongo 2 is letting us know that she is going to be lit at Coachella. Now, for those of you who do not know, she will be performing at Coachella, and she's already calling it Megchella. Now, do we have any hotties in the building? How are you guys feeling about your favorite going out there to perform? Personally, I'm just happy that they haven't totally forgotten or written her off, because we do know that the industry at the moment has got a new favorite, and it's very nice to see them still throwing other girls a bone or two. I really love that about the industry. At least they haven't totally discarded her, and she also still has a liquor to sell, so that's actually a very good thing. Congratulations to Bongo 2. Moving on to the next thing that we are going to be talking about. We're going to talk about Ming Li, Nicki Minaj's sister. She is letting us know that, well, she recently moved into her first apartment, and she's super excited, and congratulations to Ming. Okay, she really has been the bag, even though she's been a little bit messy in between, but it seems like her mind is set, and we love to see it. Okay, I am so happy for her, like, that entire feeling of moving out and having your own space. It's such an amazing feeling, and I wish her all the best, and I wish that going forward she will be less messy and not set her sister up for getting dragged just for a check. Moving on to the next thing that we are going to be talking about, we're going to talk about Muni Long. Okay, I wanted to talk about this yesterday, but the speech that she gave at the Billboard, Women in Music function, honestly, it was very, very touching. It was very authentic. I wish I could put even the footage, but you do know how YouTube works when it comes to copyright. So for that reason, I'm actually not going to insert the footage. I will insert the audio. And for some reason, watching her deliver that speech, I felt so. It was a very moving speech. It gave very much authentic. I don't know. Let me just insert what she had to say, and then I'll catch you guys after that.
Black women have always been the architects of innovation, resilience, and power. From the soulful tones of Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin to the boldness of Beyoncé and Miss Lauryn Hill, we have seen our brilliance shape the world in ways that transcend music and art. To the artists before me, those who dare to dream, to break barriers, to challenge the status quo. The Tina Turners, the Sister Rosetta Tharpes, and Janet Jacksons, Mariah Careys, and Whitney Houston's. Their influence echoes through every note I sing. Thank you to the aunties with 4 rings on every finger and a mouth full of slugs. The unpaved, unincorporated Florida streets. The communities that birthed the soul of modern music. The hood, which is the genesis of pop culture, a place where the creativity of the people screams back into the mainstream. And on that note, to all the people who understand what I'm about to say, period, and what about it, and is, and do, and will, and can't, and don't let it happen again.
Well, there you heard that, you guys. That being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching. And thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I post. And until my next one, see you.
Rexdale, Playboy Cardi, and Don Toliver on that Nav album. All right, so the Nokia video is out in IMAX, and it's been shot $2,000 per minute. It's officially a movie. You know, everybody says, yo, we're making a movie. Drake made a movie. So the commenters, OVO fans, and everyone else alike, do you love the Nokia video? I don't even know if we can get an honest take on the internet, because you're going to have like haters, and then you're going to have glazers.
All right.
So I don't even know if you can get an honest take. But Eddie, I want to come to you for at least the rollout up to this point. How did you like the teaser? How did you like everything that Drake got going to this point?
I mean, you got to give a shout out to Drake, man, because it was looking dark over 2024. Like, we didn't know where he was going to go next. And to his credit, he took a lot of L's, and it wasn't just the beef. It was musically, people weren't liking the choices. And ever since the album Sexy Songs for You came out, it's been a positive response. He's had #1 album sales, #1 singles. So this is the first time where you can see the trajectory of Drake's career. Like, we always said he was going to be fine, but he's booming, bro. And if you're going to do a rollout for a video, why not go all out? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Make a
how
movie.
many people... Yeah, how many people in the hip-hop space, and I hate to make comparison because, you know, it is what it is. Historically, Kendrick always put a lot into his videos. You know, there's a few, or Travis Scott's, when he drops videos, puts a lot into his videos. Drake is one of those people at this point in time. Invest everything into who you are, because this is the version of Drake people wanted to see. We didn't want to see all the other stuff for a lot of people. It's the music, it's the videos, it's the strip club vibes. Like, that's when Drake's 10 out of 10.
I mean, I've been still waiting for Drake to lean more into his TV and film production acting bag, and I haven't gotten as much of that as I would have liked. So if this is the closest we're going to get for right now, I'm not mad at it. Maybe this is a step. I still think he should.
Maybe he'll get up on SNL and body it again, because, you know, he always crushes it.
Yeah, he does good.
Dude is funny. He's good. He's good at the acting thing.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, he's so talented. I don't know why he feels like he needs to be stuck in music right now. Like, why not flex some other skills?
Maybe that's a part of him flexing his talent, because he gets to be, he not only gets to tell personal stories, but he can also put his theatrics into his rap